afternoon. We are ready to start our meeting on this day. Would you please join us by standing for a word of prayer? Gracious and eternal God, we thank you for the gift of this day and for the opportunity to gather together in service for our community. We thank you for this city, for its people, its promise, and its future. During this month, we observed Women's History Month. We pause to thank you, God, for the women who have shaped our homes, our communities, and our nation. We honor the courage of those who've paved the way, the strength of those who lead every day, and the young girls who are rising to become the leaders of tomorrow. May we never take for granted the sacrifices that they made so that the doors could open wider for this generation to come. Lord, we also lift up the soldiers who are serving and fighting in war around the world. Protect them with your grace and with your mercy. Be their shield in times of danger and their peace in moments of uncertainty. Today we remember the heavy hearts of the families who have lost loved ones in those conflicts. Comfort them, surround them with love, and remind them that their sacrifice will never be forgotten. As our city continues to grow, God, help us to remain intentional about staying connected to one another, to our neighbors, and to the values that make our community strong. Let growth never cause us to lose sense of care, collaboration, and shared responsibility. And it's in your name, O God, that we pray. Let every heart say amen. Amen. Now let us say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Council, we are looking at our agenda. I will, if you don't mind, I'm going to move the resolutions up right after we do the honors and recognitions, if that's okay. Okay. Any other amendments?
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to add a resolution permanently regarding monthly updates on whether it be from AECOM or whether it be from staff on updates to our water, wastewater, and stormwater systems.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you so much. Anything else?
Well, I guess we never mind.
Now, Pro Tem Jabali, you have something for everyone. So.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Just briefly wanted to let everyone in the audience know that this is a preview of what's to come during the Business Development Committee meeting. Don't want you to leave. It's just captivating. Really, it's just want to give you a heads up. The city has been, as was mentioned by Councilman McKay, the city's been working very feverishly and intently on addressing a lot of infrastructure issues, whether it's stormwater, wastewater, groundwater, and water quality, water distribution. Well, at our Business Development Committee meeting, we received the first iteration of a water quality improvement plan, and there are multiple copies up here right in front of Casey. So if anybody wants to just come up and grab one of those copies, you're more than welcome to have that. I think, Mr. City Manager, is this going to be online?
It will be, yes.
Yeah, so you'll be able to also find this online, but if anybody wants to just come grab one of those copies, I wanted to just give a heads up of what's coming. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
You're welcome. Next, we will have approval of minutes. We have January 8th through 9th. What say ye?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposes? The ayes have it. Then we have February 9th, 2026. What say ye?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Now we have honors and recognition. This is a service recognition. This is Almaro, I'm hoping I'm saying that right, Amaro Preacher? Al Mario. Al Mario. Preacher. 25 years of beautification and facilities. So you're a preacher? No, I'm just
All right, today we are proud to recognize Deshaun Almario, preacher, for his 25 years of service to the city of Florence. Sean began his work with the city on March 12, 2001 as a maintenance worker. Through the years, he continued dedication to the city and his commitment to the Public Works Department, leading to serve him as a special equipment operator, and today he currently holds the position of team leader. For a quarter of a century, sounds good. Deshaun has demonstrated commitment to the city and the importance of public service to the Public Works Department and providing to our community each day. His longevity and dedication reflect the value of experienced employees who remain committed to serving the citizens of our city every day. On behalf of the city of Florence, we thank Deshaun Preacher for 25 years of service and his continued commitment to the organization and our community. Please join me in congratulating him.
You want to say something?
Speech.
It's been a hard journey. I done fought Adam. That was
So you got 25
Muhammad
more.
Ali. When Drew Griffin knocked me down. I'm proud of my 25 years. I worked with it. I earned this.
Thank you.
Yes, yes, you did.
Isaiah Harley.
Next, we have Isaiah Hartley. Hartley.
All right, today we are recognizing my good friend and teammate Isaiah Harley for 20 years of dedicated service to the city of Florence. Isaiah began his career with the city on March 6, 2006 as an activity instructor in our recreation department. Over the past 2 decades, he has grown with the organization and served the community in many roles, including recreation teen center coordinator, program specialist, activity coordinator, parks groundskeeper, team leader, and recently he was just promoted to our street supervisor. Isaiah's career reflects a strong commitment to service and a willingness to step up wherever he's needed. From mentoring youth and recreation programs to maintaining our parks and now leading operations to keep our downtown district beautified, streets and public rights of way maintained at a high level, Isaiah has consistently demonstrated dedication, versatility, hard work, and leadership. On behalf of the city of Florence, we thank Isaiah for 20 years of service, commitment, and impact on our community. Please join me in thanking Isaiah.
Well, one more.
Now we will move up we will go on and do our grant presentation. Mindy, if you could give us a minute, the grant no, go ahead. No, you come on up. Come on up, Mindy. Mindy is about to do a grant presentation.
Okay, Mayor, members of council, it's my pleasure to be back again to let you know about a grant. If you recall, last year, the Duke Energy Foundation granted the city $5,000 and we partnered with Adams and his team to do a tree giveaway, which was slated to last about 3 hours, and we held it near Earth Day. I think most of the trees were gone within about the first hour, so it was hugely successful. So we committed to Adam then that we would grant and partner with the city again, but this year we have doubled that amount to $10,000. So on behalf of the Duke Energy Foundation, I'm pleased to present a $10,000 grant to the city. Adam wants to split it up into 2 different tree giveaways, so we're going to have one the end of April, again around Earth Day, and another one in the fall. So, congratulations.
You got music comes along with it.
So the joke with Mindy, I told Mindy that if she brought us another check, that we would do the electric slide. So I was trying, I'm not going to do the electric slide, but I want
I think I said if you would dance.
Adam? Adam's going to dance. Adam is going to dance for Dancing with the Stars. I danced against his mom, his wife on last year. Then I had to sing in a contest with his mom. So I guess I'll support you.
Adam,
Sir.
are we going to put these trees in place of the Bradford pears?
No, this is a totally different. This is for the public tree giveaway. We'll do that in-house.
All right, just checking.
I want to apologize for Miss Brenda Dees. Is she in here? I did not see her at first. She was supposed to do the prayer. And it was so many people in here, I didn't see it, so I went on and did the prayer. So Brenda, please forgive me. Can you do next month? All right, there we go. Thank you so much. Okay, now we will move to our resolutions. Council, we have resolution number 2026-10, a resolution of recognition for the United 74 class for the contributions for this community. This is sponsored by Madam Neesmith. Motion?
Second.
All those in favor?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. A resolution of recognition for United 74 Inc. for its contributions to the community. Whereas United 74 Inc. is a community-based organization comprised of like-minded graduates of Florence School District 1 high schools, class of 1974, and whereas the organization's membership reflects broad geographical diversity, yet remains steadfastly connected through its motto, divided by boundaries, united by purpose, and united in its mission to be of service to the community. And whereas United 74 Inc. was first formed in 2009 by Sharon Lynn Mitchell Scott and Myra Lane Isaac, bringing together graduates from the 4 Florence high schools that existed prior to 1975, Wilson High School, Southside High School, McClinigan High School, and West Florence High School for their 35th class reunion. And whereas since its incorporation, United 74 Inc. has provided scholarship assistance, computers, and printers to 57 graduating students from Florence School District 1 and 4 students from Florence School District 3, with approximately 85% of scholarship recipients completing college, vocational, or technical training. And whereas the organization also supports families with school-aged children, provides assistance to senior citizens in nursing homes and shelters, and delivers hot meals and clothing to displaced individuals during the winter months. And whereas through fundraising and collective service, United 74 Inc. embodies its philosophy, not one of us can do what all of us can. and continues to make a meaningful impact to the Florence community. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Florence, South Carolina hereby recognizes and commends United 74 Inc. for its dedicated service, generosity, and lasting contributions to the citizens of Florence. Resolved this 9th day of March, 2026.
Come on, United 74.
Can I come up for this? I mean, I'm a member of the class of 74. I'm a part of United 74. If I can come down for this, I'd like to. No, I gotta rep West Florence, right? Oh, listen to that.
Can we get some of the shorter people up and then y'all do the shoulder action, pointing your shoulder out so the line gets smaller? Yeah, there we go.
So, Lamar, as class president, did you want to say a few words and talk about everybody that's here? And yes.
This is, Mayor Coach County Trevally indicated he is honorary being an opposite word. But we do want to welcome him and thank him, and we have partnered on quite a few opportunities to do some good things for the city of Florence. Then we have Ms. Alma Lowry, currently Ms. Davis, Mrs. Holmes. Hall, I'm sorry. She's recently married, that's why I know. And then we have Mr. and Mrs. David and Camille McCormick. And we have Ms. Dolores Taylor, Ms. Sally Emanuel, Ms. Janice Cooper, Ms. Claudette Williams, Ms. Brenda Williams Grant,
Don't leave that name out now.
and Ms. Dorothy Williams, Dr. Godbolt, and Mr. Johnny Emanuel. And for the past 15 years, we've worked diligently to try and make a difference in the community, amongst our own community. And that those individuals who we feel that are underserved, our efforts have been to grant scholarships and scholarship assistance to those students who are interested in continuing their education but lack the means. United 74 has for the past 15 years, has worked with shelters in the community as well as the nursing home. Every year, we go to a different nursing home and we provide assistance in the way of gifts and hospitality and benevolence and friendship to everybody that's a resident in that particular facility. Last year, we just did Faith Nursing Home, formerly known as Faith Nursing Home. We haven't decided which nursing home we will be at this year. But we just do want to make the community aware that we don't think of ourselves as a class reunion group. Our efforts and our desire is to be recognized and known as a community-based organization that works for the service of the community. Well, not many of us are from Florence. All of us graduated and went on and did other things in life and just came back 35, 50 years ago now and decided that this is where we wanted to try and make our mark, to try and do something in our community that saw us and nurtured us to where we could get to where we are today. So to the mayor and the city council members, we want to thank you for this presentation, for this award. To Ms. Neesmith, especially, who has befriended us and helped us tremendously. And you already heard me tell you about what Council Pro Tem Bailey has done. So again, we want to thank you for this opportunity for this.
Thank you. Thank you all so much.
That's okay. Me too.
Council, next we have resolution number 2026-12, a resolution of recognition for the Florence Christian School girls basketball team for winning the state championship. Uh-oh, did I miss one? So we'll go back. But no, y'all come on, because we're going to do y'all. We celebrating y'all. I'm really excited about that. What say ye, council?
So moved.
All those in favor? Amanda?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Resolution number 2026-12 is sponsored by Councilman Braddock, a resolution of recognition for the Florence Christian High School girls basketball team for winning the 2026 South Carolina Independent School Association State Championship. Whereas the Florence Christian High School girls basketball team of Florence Christian School achieved a historic milestone by winning the 2026 South Carolina Independent School Association State Championship, marking the first girls basketball state title in program history. And whereas the Lady Eagles secured the championship with a 42-35 victory over Orangeburg Preparatory Schools at the Sumter County Civic Center, finishing the season with an outstanding 24-2 record and an impressive 17-game winning streak. And whereas under the leadership of head coach Neil Minton, the team demonstrated perseverance, discipline, and unwavering faith through the season, earning Coach Minton his third state championship at Florence Christian School. And whereas after suffering an earlier season loss to Orangeburg Prep, the Lady Eagles responded with resilience and determination, overcoming adversity and entering the championship game with confidence and momentum. And whereas through hard work and determination, these athletes have proven themselves state champions and serve as positive role models for area youth. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Florence, South Carolina hereby commends this athletic accomplishment and congratulates the Florence Christian High School girls basketball team for winning the 2026 state championship. Resolved this 9th day of March, 2026.
Sponsored by? She already said sponsored. Okay, come on.
they've done this before, huh?
Our mayor has game too.
We never put out. Yes, sir. Congratulations to you again.
Congratulations.
Thank you, ladies. Yeah, 11 up. Yes, we will now go back to the one I missed. Resolution number 2026-11 is a resolution of recognition for Justin Purvis for his outstanding community service and contributions to the community. What say ye?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor? Opposed?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Resolution number 2026-11 is sponsored by Councilwoman Neesmith Jackson. Whereas Justin Purvis is originally from Darlington, South Carolina, and is a longtime resident of the city of Florence who attended South Florence High School. And whereas he has maintained strong and meaningful ties to the Florence community throughout his life, and his roots in the PD region continue to shape his commitment to service and civic engagement. And whereas in 2014, Justin Purvis founded Cosmic Soul, a locally owned business that he has successfully led for more than a decade, contributing to the local economy while establishing himself as a positive and influential presence within the city of Florence, and through his entrepreneurship has demonstrated values of community, consistency, and purpose. And whereas Justin Purvis has been a generous and consistent partner to numerous community organizations and programs benefiting youth, schools, law enforcement, and local families, including passion-driven sports, the South Florence High School cheerleaders, the Wilson High School basketball team, the Florence Police Department, and many other local organizations. And whereas Mr. Purvis has served as the primary sponsor of the Sneaks for Purpose Sneaker Drive for the past 5 years, an initiative that has provided sneakers and essential resources to children and local families in need throughout the Florence community. And whereas Justin Purvis's personal journey reflects resilience and perseverance, having overcome early life challenges and committing himself to personal growth, accountability, and positive change. And whereas through his philanthropy, business leadership, and service, Justin Purvis exemplifies the power of second chances and the importance of giving back to the community. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Florence, South Carolina hereby recognizes and honors Justin Purvis for his outstanding service, generosity, and lasting impact on the City of Florence and its citizens. Resolved this 9th day of March, 2026.
Thank you. Right? I want to thank you because every year they do the sneakers for purpose. There's a line way out the door, and he donates hundreds of pairs of sneakers to the community through that cause. And I just want to thank you because a lot of these kids go back to school with your shoes on. Yes, and so thank you so much because you don't have to give up the sneakers. But I mean, these be brand new, name brand, up to date sneakers. These kids be wearing. So without your contribution, some of our kids wouldn't have that. And I want to say thank you very much for all that you do.
I appreciate y'all.
All right.
Feel so underdressed on y'all.
You're good. Thank you so much. Thank you for everything you do. You want to say a few things?
If you can you go to the podium so they hear it online? If you go to the podium, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. I just want to thank the city of Florence for acknowledging me for everything I do. All these important people in here. It's my first. I don't know y'all personally, but I know a bunch of these faces. I see y'all on the news. I see y'all make a big change in here. So I'm glad to be acknowledged by y'all. And then I would also like to say I want to thank my staff that works very hard every day for helping us make this possible, making me be able to budget all this stuff that I do, and that's pretty much it.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you.
y'all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Next, we have resolution number 2026-13, a resolution to of recognition honoring the mayor's women's ambassadors for their service and contributions to our community. What say you?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Amanda?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. And of course, Mayor, Resolution 2026-13 is sponsored by Mayor Barnes. Whereas the mayor of the city of Florence appointed a group of women leaders to serve as ambassadors in support of a mayoral initiative recognizing and uplifting women through the community. And whereas the purpose of this initiative is to celebrate and uplift women of influence across the city of Florence for the lives they touch rather than the positions they hold, highlighting those who serve, lead, inspire, and quietly make our community better, our unsung heroes. And whereas these ambassadors have demonstrated leadership, dedication, and a commitment to the public service through their collaboration and engagement efforts, and whereas through their time, energy, and shared vision, the ambassadors have helped foster community involvement, civic pride, and positive outreach within the city of Florence. And whereas their service reflects the strength, talent, and leadership of women throughout the Florence community, now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Florence, South Carolina, hereby recognizes and commends the mayor's women's ambassadors for their meaningful contributions and dedicated service to the community, resolved this 9th day of March, 2026.
This is sponsored by myself as well as Councilwoman Neesmith.
Sorry.
Ambassadors, I am so proud to even have you all here in our meeting. So could you all come up and receive this and take a picture with us? There are the co-chairs are Ms. Jean Leatherman and Margaret Smalls. They're really all in all, it's about 15 of them, y'all. women have been championing women for as long as I've known about them. And so I'm honored for us to continue to light the flame of other women. And that's what we will do. So I'm going to put this right here in the hands of my co-chair. And I'm going to stand over here on the end and we take a picture. Are we centered?
No.
We all right?
Slide over some.
To the left, to the left.
That's it now, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
One of you can, will you speak about the importance of, Coach?
Spot.
She's holding a resolution, right?
Well, this is Women's History Month, and we're recognizing, everybody has to have something to recognize every month, and so this is our month to recognize women. And we're so grateful for the opportunities that we have to work in this community to make it a better place. And it's our pleasure to have some good things to do, and we want to support each other and build each other up. We've got some great women entrepreneurs, volunteers, dedicated servants in this community, and that's what this is all about. And we appreciate the chance to be recognized. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Thank y'all so much. Thank you so much. We'll do the electric slide when we get together. Thank y'all. Council, next we have resolution number 2026-14, a resolution of conditional grant and development agreement to provide incentive for development of new housing within the historic West Florence and Waverly Avenue as a part of an ongoing neighborhood redevelopment. This will be taken up in executive session, if that's okay. So now we will go back to the beginning for appearances before council. We have Mr. Robert McCready to discuss removing fluoride from the drinking water. Thank you so much.
I have some packets that I'll give you at the end. This is something I think is fun and easy and a quick win when everybody's upset about the water. So we put fluoride in the water in Florence County. We do that because in the past people found out that fluoride made your teeth better. This is the fluoride that naturally occurs in nature. It's very simple. It's just calcium and fluoride. I'm not a chemist, so this is a layman's explanation. This is the fluoride that we add. It's a little bit more complicated. It's fluorosilicic acid. And the way that we get it is that we have a phosphate fertilizer industry, and we get it from a phosphate rock. We kind of process that. It creates a byproduct, which is an air pollutant. We don't want it to go into the air, so we rinse it off, and that is fluorosilicic acid. And that's going to be on this paper that I'll get to you guys. We take the fluorosilicic acid and put it in the water, and it's supposed to break apart. The fluoride goes to our teeth, and then the pollutant that can't go in the air is not supposed to affect us. However, it's not always that simple. We try to do something good for people's teeth, and then there's consequences. Jennifer Luke in the 90s studied the cadavers of people and found out that adults have a calcified pineal gland. The pineal gland is responsible for melatonin production, puberty, and things like that. And they've done, the NIH has done studies in 2017. It's under prenatal fluoride exposure and cognitive outcomes in children at 4 and 6 to 12 years of age in Mexico. They had, it dropped IQ points, too much exposure to the fluoride. And they think it might have something to do because the calcium goes to the pineal gland. It's not part of the blood-brain barrier, and it produces calcium as a byproduct, and fluoride loves to bind to calcium. So we could just not put it in the water. It would save us $10,000, and it's really, really popular. We already have a House Bill 4258 that wants to ban fluoride in the state. We could beat them to the punch. Since September 2024, 81 communities serving 29.5 million people have ended, suspended, or prevented water fluoridization. Between 2010 and 2023, more than 170 U.S. communities rejected it. In South Carolina, Westminster, Greenwood, states, Utah, and Florida, the people that have fluoridated water has dropped from 72% in 2022 to 64% in 2025. So that's where the trend is going. Another practical reason of getting rid of it is that we usually just filter it out anyway with our water filters, or we buy bottled water. And the only people that are not filtering their water that's getting fluoridization are the people that are in the poorest communities. The people that are in government housing, stuff like that, that get city water, they don't have the choice. They're not filtering it. They're not buying the water. Whereas everyone else has gone past that. And as far as what's helping the teeth, we kind of know that only brushing and flossing can fix it. And toothpaste has fluoride in it. It says don't swallow it on that package. It's because there's a more concentrated amount that's supposed to be that you can't swallow, which means that we don't have an amount in the water that would even prevent tooth decay. And now toothpastes are even getting rid of fluoride because people are just off the bandwagon of fluoride. I have fluoride in my toothpaste, full disclosure. I think it's good for teeth. I just don't want to swallow it all the time when I'm drinking water. And that's all I got to say. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You didn't mention one word, but is there autism links as well to fluoride?
Yes.
Or just IQ?
There are autism links. The NIH is doing lots of studies on it. They're correlative right now, but not every single adult has a calcified pineal gland, but about 85% of them do. And more kids are having calcified pineal glands, and they're going through puberty sooner. And a lot of people take melatonin to go to sleep. I mean, it's common practice now. In the 90s, it was you just started hearing about it. I think like only Moss Pharmacy sold it. Now you can get it anywhere. Everybody takes it, and it's because the pineal gland is getting calcified, and so we can't produce melatonin to go to sleep.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Yes.
My question is, so what's your response to, this is a 2024 scientific statement by the CDC that indicates that the burden tends to fall hardest on low-income families who doesn't have regular dental care or dental visits. What's your response to that?
The CDC and the ADA want to keep fluoride in the water. The NIH and the DHHS do not want it in the water. So there is some conflict.
The DHSS is Department of
Health and Human Services.
And that's through, who's the chair, who's over the department?
That's RFK's.
RFK is Robert F. Kennedy?
Yes.
Okay.
And they have recommended it to DHEC already. But for if it's not enough fluoride in the water to prevent tooth decay, then having it in there is not going to help anybody. If you can't swallow the toothpaste because it's a higher concentration of fluoride, and that's the concentration they need to prevent tooth decay, then having just a little bit, which a federal court has ruled you have to have a very small amount in there, then it's not really doing anything. It's just a waste of money. Mississippi couldn't get fluoride during the pandemic, and so they just kind of phased it out because they were like, well, we didn't have it for a couple of years. We just won't use it anymore.
I just have some concerns, I guess, I don't want to, my biggest thing is I'm big on the affordability. I want to keep costs low for people. And there's a study that was done in 2024 that says it could increase dental costs for our kids. That's something I probably wouldn't be in favor of. So, thank you.
Anyone else?
And so you also said in your statement that the customers that we serve that probably cannot afford filters are low income and housing residents, correct?
Yes.
So my question to you is, what do you expect them to do if they can't filter their water if we don't add this cleanser or this chemical into it?
Well, it's because they don't have the choice. They can't filter it. They're not filtering it. Everyone else is filtering or buying water, and it's automatically in. So everyone else is getting to opt out because of their financial situation.
So
If they wanted the fluoride, they could get the toothpaste.
So if they don't have the financial stability of getting it, then you're basically saying it doesn't matter in their situation.
No, it's not an amount that would be effective either. It's a very low amount. It's a different parts per millimeter than what's in the toothpaste.
Can I make a suggestion? Because you said that you're not a chemist and this is what you read, can we do some research and we'll say we'll look into it, but we thank you for.
Yeah, I'm just bringing attention.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you for bringing it to our attention, and we'll look into it.
All right, thank you so much. I
Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much. All right, council, next we have ordinance and position, bill number 2026-01, and it's the second reading. It's an ordinance to annex and zone RU the property located at 2916 West Palmetto Street, identified as Florence County Tax Map number 00100-01-031. What say ye?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposes? The ayes have it. Next, we have bill number 2026-02. This is a second reading, an ordinance to amend the planned development district for New Ebenezer Baptist Church at 312 South Ravenel Street, identified as Florence County Tax Map number 90103-03-001. What say ye?
So moved.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Next, we have bill number 2026-03, second reading. This is an ordinance to amend the City of Florence Unified Development Ordinance regarding itinerant vendor sales, mobile service, and temporary use permits. What say ye?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Bill number 2026-05. This is a second reading. This is an ordinance authorizing the conveyance of property located at 804 Waverly Avenue, identified as Florence County Tax Map number 90061-11-015 to facilitate the construction of a home which will be marketed for sale at price based on fair market value as a part of the neighborhood redevelopment efforts within the City of Florence.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Next, council, we will have,
Did we do on 6 already?
I'm about to do 6.
Oh, okay.
Bill number 2026-06, and this is a second reading, an ordinance to amend the budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2025, and ending in June 30th, 2026. What say ye?
So moved.
Second. Any questions, discussion? I have a question. How many readings do we have on the budget?
Oh, this is an amendment.
This is an amendment to the budget. This is the 30% carryover. This
Gotcha,
is the less.
gotcha. Okay. So this is the second reading. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Now we are moving into introductions of ordinance. This is a bill number 2026-04, and it is the first reading. An ordinance to amend the City of Florence Unified Development Ordinance regarding in-home child care facility. What say ye?
I'll move.
So moved. Second. Jerry?
Sure, this is, we're picking up from last time when it was deferred, but this is essentially an ordinance which would change the code to align with the International Fire Code, which allows up to 5 children in a residential care facility, as opposed to the 6 that's allowed now via our code and DSS. What we're finding is when we approve it at a local level, it kind of circles back to us, and we have to update our permitting to align with the International Fire Code. So we're just updating our code to align with that.
Okay. Councilwoman Neesmith.
Question. And so you're saying DSS is going to update theirs as well to allow 5 instead of 6?
We talked to them, and they said that they had not done that yet. That's all they told us. Which made it implied that they would eventually, but that would take some on the state level changes.
Can we wait on doing this until DSS does do that, because it's going to put these child care homes in a bind if they're legally, allowed to be paid by DSS for 6 kids, but then we're saying they can only have 5.
The fire code saying that they can only
Yeah,
have
that's what I'm saying.
So they can't have 6.
Yeah, can we table it?
Let's vote. What y'all say?
I'm second.
Give us some more.
I got a question.
Yeah, second. Well, let him ask the question and you had to say.
So just to be clear, with respect to the position raised by Councilwoman, who, by the way, happy birthday.
Yeah, I meant to do it when all the women were in here. I'm sorry. Councilwoman Neesmith's birthday is today.
It's Thursday, but I celebrate this whole month.
All month. Her birthday is all month.
Yes.
So I'm just trying to understand, is there a timing element to going forward with this ordinance?
I think it could stand as it does now without changing it. It's just we have to educate individuals when they come in that our code doesn't necessarily align with all the state codes.
Okay.
So it would just be and our staff is aware, so that would be easy to educate individuals when they come into the office.
Is there a problem, I guess what I'm asking, is there a problem that if we were to put this, let's say we were to adopt this ordinance, would it somehow be a problem for those who are currently licensed, and would it affect them in any way?
It's my understanding after talking to the state fire marshal that any inspections going forward on those that are already permitted for 6, that it would not impact them. So it would not impact them.
They would be grandfathered in?
That's correct.
Okay, and do we have an assurance on that?
From a local level, it would be.
Right.
I can't
I
speak
mean,
for the fire.
I'm only speaking on the local level.
But
We
from
can't
a
control the
local,
state.
yes, from a local standpoint, absolutely. Anybody that currently has 6 would be grandfathered in.
Okay, Mr. City Manager, what's your take on that? I mean, Jerry's not in charge of the fire department.
The state fire department. Yeah.
Yes, certainly. Again, as Jerry mentioned, from the city standpoint, certainly we would grandfather in all of those that are at 6.
So is there any reason that if we were to adopt this, that it would somehow negatively impact those who currently are doing business?
It would not.
With those going forward.
Would that include the ones that have 6 and say 4 or 5?
And Shaquez was waiting to say something.
waiting.
Councilman McCall.
Yeah. And so I deferred to this month to get some more information in regards to this moving forward. But I'm a no vote, and because I just think I'm going to be a stickler from here on out on just about any regulation that I feel unnecessarily increase costs. And I think this unnecessarily increased costs. I think we have child care there was a study that was done, I think, by the Post and Carrier that said it's $1 billion economic we can get $1 billion in economic development if we address child care seriously here in South Carolina, and by us making it harder here in Florence, increasing costs, we're doing nothing but hurting ourselves economically. So I would be a no, because this is an increased regulations, and again, I'm gonna be a stickler on every regulation that kind of comes to this desk on my part. So I'm a no vote.
Councilman Braddock.
Well, Councilman Bailey answered my question in terms of people being grandfathered in, but from my understanding, what what we're doing is we create a lot of confusions where we license people for 6 and then fire marshal comes in and then they can't get it for 6, they only get it for 5. And so, I agree with, Councilman McCall about, adding regulatory and adding costs, but I feel like there's a lot of costs that are added in the confusion where people make all these, especially for new businesses, they make their pro forma, they do everything based off of 6, we approve 6, and then the fire marshal shuts them down and they can only have 5. So I feel like
That's a problem too. You get
Yeah.
fire marshal.
but that's,
I'm sorry, Shannon, my bad.
but I don't think, I mean, there's no way around, once the fire marshal has to approve it, they're gonna go in there, and if they got 6, they're not gonna approve it, and so we're gonna have approved something that they can't move forward with, and their whole business model and everything is gonna be in jeopardy, so.
Yeah, that's our understanding after talking to the state officials, is it just causes a point of confusion. Yeah.
Councilman McKay?
No, I was just gonna ask, so, and I know they're grandfathered in, but say the folks that do currently have 6, say they fall below that number, would they still be able to, I guess, go back up to that 6? And then,
Yes, we wouldn't regulate that. Once they have a permit, if it, from the point this is adopted, any that come through, and to be honest, it falls out of our kind of regulation at that point anyway, and goes into more of the, the Department of Social Services, I believe, regulates that. So it kind of falls out of our viewpoint. So even if it did change at a state level and go back up to 6, I think they'd still be allowed to do that. And if we caught wind of that, we would obviously update our code to reverse it as well.
and I guess my next question would be, is there not any way that we could just mirror the to less complicate and deregulate, can we not just mirror the states and to, I guess, go back to what Councilor Neesmith said, kind of follow the states, I guess, legislation around that?
Yeah, and one suggestion might be we could craft a little bit of change of language to this to just not maybe have a number in there, but point to state regulation, and we in our office could know the rules and educate folks when they come in. So,
What if we?
Good answer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, because I don't.
Yes,
No,
Councilman.
in light of that, could we defer another month? Let Jerry's office go back and revisit this and see if the language can be readjusted somehow?
That way it would be fluid, it would just go with the.
Does that require a vote to, if we are deferring? Do we vote to defer? So George just made George,
Well, hang on a second. Ron,
go ahead, what you saying?
You need a motion to defer, but you want to specify defer until.
Okay.
Well, I did table it. Mine was table it.
You got a second.
I know, but I'm just saying,
So,
that was the first
so
one.
this will be a motion to
Oh.
defer to next month, just to give another month for Jerry and his staff to refine the language.
So that we are clear, Councilwoman Neesmith had issued a motion to table, and we further discussed, and now we have council, but
I second her table then.
and so yes. So how do we?
Who made the motion first? I'm sorry.
I did.
Second, the table.
Okay, so how do we do that?
You would need to address that. If you have a second for her motion to table, you need to address that.
Yeah, we do.
We need to address the table, and then we'll come back for that, okay? So specify if we're tabling and we're deferring,
What's the difference?
what's the difference?
Tabling means that it is taken off the agenda until someone on council makes a motion to take it off the table. And typically that would die if it's not brought up generally by the next meeting. So it would have to be asked to be placed back on the agenda. A motion to defer seeks to, for whatever the reason might be, place it back on the agenda or instruct that it be placed on the agenda at a specified time. So you might say we move to defer this to the May meeting or to the April meeting or whenever you feel is
Gotcha.
sufficient.
So you all have that. So right now we have
got
before
discussion.
us, yes, Council.
I just, I feel like the table, what we're doing is we putting new people who are coming into business in a bad situation, because we say it's okay and then it's not okay. And to do something that runs in line with the state without a number, just with the state, which is going to be the governing agency, I just, it causes issues in the neighborhoods when people, think they're getting sick and they can't even get sick. So it just causes a lot of issues for people with their loans that they're getting for their business. And I just feel like to kick this down the road, we're just we're really putting people in a we're causing confusion.
Councilman McCall.
Yeah. McCall, gotcha. I think this was deferred from last month to this month. This is an unnecessary regulation. We got too many regulations. This is unnecessary regulation. I think it should be tabled, and if staff was to come up with a better proposal and council was to see fit, you can vote to bring it up. But I don't want to keep this deferred. I will be against it, keep deferring it month and month for something I'm voting no on anyway, because it's an unnecessary regulation. That's going, in my opinion, going to increase costs, and I'm not for that. So the table is.
All right, so that we have tabling, okay, Councilman.
I'm sorry, thank you. So while I fully respect and appreciate the position about unnecessary regulations, it seems to me that the driver here is the state, we're not really the driver.
That's why we're in it.
It's at the state level. And if I understand, the whole purpose of this is to try to just not mislead people who are applying to say that they can have 6 when in fact the state says you can only have 5. And so that's not, in my opinion, that's not unnecessary regulation. It's just clarifying locally what is already in place at the state level, and just informing people on the front end, and to have our ordinance comply locally with what's already happening at the state level, and to reduce confusion as opposed to allowing for the misunderstanding. I think that's already potentially there, and I think that's the whole purpose of what this ordinance was drafted for. Is that correct, Jerry? Was to try to eliminate any confusion?
That's correct. That's the intent of this.
Can we hear from our city attorney?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just want to clarify that a motion to table is mostly used for emergency issues. Let's say if there's something that's come up and you're in the middle of a debate or discussion and you want to lay something on the table just to essentially come back to it. I think the better motion might be, from what I'm hearing, the discussion with council right now, is if you want to defer this to a later point in time, and you could specify however long that might be, or if you don't want to consider this as is,
vote it down.
Vote it down, or you do have the right, given that this is first reading, to approve first reading with the understanding that you want certain changes made before it be brought back for second reading. So I think just procedurally speaking, it sounds more so like the motion to table is not necessarily the best procedural motion of what I'm hearing here.
Okay, Councilwoman Neesmith.
Okay, let's update this to defer until DSS have changed their regulations.
Happy forever.
But
my point is, the ordinance addresses more than just the 5 to 6. That's the only thing that we're taking note on. It addresses more than that. But we're saying the 5 to 6 is only, but it's not the only change in there. There's other changes. That's unnecessary. So I want to vote. Let's just vote it up and down. I mean, I think I'll just defer to them.
So right now, Councilwoman Neesmith, would you rescind your,
I would like to rescind it to defer until DSS can come up with that can be in the line with what we're trying to enforce.
Second.
Because right now DSS says 6. These people thinking they can have 6, but we're saying 5. So I would like to defer until DSS can.
That's absolutely wrong.
so we have a motion and a second, city manager. city lawyer.
Can't be the illustrious city
all of
manager. But for clarity's sake, I just want to make sure I'm understanding. Councilwoman Neesmith Jackson is withdrawing her motion to table and instead submitting a motion to defer until such time as the Department of Social Services has taken action regulatory-wise on this issue.
Yes.
And I second that.
How is that possible?
And discussion, with that, is it possible that the city of Florence could issue a letter to them requesting that they make the adjustments?
We could absolutely.
We could at least do that,
We
so
could
we won't
absolutely
just
do
be
that.
deferring forever.
Madam Mayor, a question for Councilman McCall, because I'm not educated. What were the other changes? I wasn't aware of other changes being made.
That's right. It's highlighted in the. Can I pull it up on the board up there? Jerry, do you have it up?
Yes. So we were essentially, right now, we just have in the code the definition for in-home childcare. But in our home occupation section, we define a small and a large daycare. And we were adding the definition of large and adding small just to include the numbers. And, you know, the small daycares are required to be registered on a state level, so we struck the licensed, and they can be registered or licensed actually. When I did the research on it, which is registered as a lower level, not as high as registered, and we just added the licensing language in the large daycare section, which a large daycare requires a special. Is a special exception use as required by or approved by the Board of Zoning Appeals. So just the highlighted yellow portions there is what's added.
Okay. We have a motion to defer. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Okay. Thank you. The ayes have it, so we don't need to vote it up or down right now, okay? Thank you so much. We will now go to introduction to ordinance.
That's one, too. That's our introduction.
Did I, huh?
That was introduction, too. That was first reading.
Yes. So now we will, thank you. We are at bill number 2026-07. This is the first reading. An ordinance to annex and zone NC-15, the property located at 2511 Ascot Drive, identified as Florence County Tax Map Number 01221-01-191. What say?
So move. Second.
All those in favor? Jerry?
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. This is a property located in Windsor Forest, is the site of a single-family detached home. It was voted unanimously to zone NC-15 by Planning Commission, and staff agrees. And here is a picture of the existing home on the site. And this concludes staff's report.
All right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. That's a little further down. Next, we have bill number 2026-08. It's the first reading. An ordinance to annex and zone NC-15, the property located at 2710 Trotter Road, identified as Florence County Tax Map Number 00984-01-007. What say ye?
So moved.
Second.
Jerry?
Thank you, Mayor, City Council. This property is located in the Grove Park subdivision. It is a single-family detached home located on this lot. The proposed zoning is NC-15, which was approved unanimously by Planning Commission. And again, here is a picture of the home. And this concludes staff's report.
Councilman?
Hey, Jerry, I mean, it's not like a trend, but we have a couple, and it seemed like we had a couple months ago. Are we doing anything that's stimulating these requests, which is good. It's good to have these requests, but where is this success? Is this just normal, or do you feel like we're trending for more people to annex in?
I think this is just normal, kind of organic, annexation that's going on. Occasionally, we're asked by the community to go out, for subdivision, Grove Park or Windsor Forest, for example, because those are the two we're talking about. We're asked to go out and talk to a group of people or to an HOA, but we've done, in the past year, we've done really none of that. So this is just organic annexation that's occurring.
No one? Everybody's good? Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Next, we have bill number 2026-09, first reading, an ordinance to amend the City of Florence Unified Development Ordinance regarding window signage. What say ye?
So moved.
Jerry.
Thank you, Mayor and members of council. This is a proposal to amend our sign code. Currently, window signage is an allowed use throughout the city, meaning that a lot of people you see put these application decals or what have you to cover their windows, and some do it up to 100% of their windows. So it can essentially, right now we allow, based on the zoning district, certain percentage of a facade wall to be covered in a sign, typically up to 25% of a facade. So right now they could do that and also have 100% coverage of windows, and depending on the size of their windows, they could have much larger sign on the front of their building than what's typically allowed. So this is an effort to change that from an allowed use, which requires no permit, to a permitted use, but also add a maximum value of 25% of the window to allow to be covered in this case. So we would add the row there of maximum window area up to 25% in all of the commercial zoning districts. And then add the language to one of the footnotes that window signage shall not exceed more than 25% of the window on which it is placed. And this concludes staff's report.
Councilman Chibali, and then Ms. Smith.
Jerry, let me just say, this is something that has become a huge problem. All you have to do is ride down Irby Street inside the city limits, and you see all these businesses that have decided looking inside the windows and seeing inside the buildings, inside what's going on, is no longer important. Every one of these glass coverings has these whatever kind of signs in them, and they are awful, and they are just an eyesore. I don't think they promote safety, because you can't see inside. You don't know what's going on. You don't know if it's jammed with people or if it's completely empty of people. You have no idea because you can't see into them, and it's just one massive collection of signs. And it is, I think, negatively impacts what we're trying to accomplish with all the work that we're doing with our beautification and our aesthetics in our community. All these trees that we're getting to come out, but you now have all these businesses, and I think we need to, what I would like to know is how, if we could have like visual examples, like let's say we pass this on first reading and then we come up to second reading, I'd like to see visual examples of kind of what is allowed now and then what the change would be if we were to make that change in place. Take the same, and I could give you some names of businesses to go look at that every one of the windows is covered, okay? And then what would it look like if we were to implement this, that we would now be able to have more see-through as opposed to completely covered with these signage? Is that something that is doable, that you can even send out to us by email ahead of time so we can take a look at that? And as a percentage basis, if you can just tell us in words now, because you don't have the pictures available, what percentage change would we notice? Let's say right now a business has 100% of their f- 20 glass windows across the front, and they're 100% covered, what would the change be?
I mean, it'd basically go to a quarter of that, so 25%, or, you know, it would only be
5
1/4.
of the 20.
That's right.
Okay.
Okay, Councilwoman Neesmith is next.
I just think the purpose of these people putting these signage up is to advertise their business, not just for people to look in and see what's going on, but for them to actually advertise their business and what they have going on. If we were to make any changes, I think it should be 25% of all the windows instead of just one window.
And staff wouldn't oppose that. I think that would be fine, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, oh, wait a minute, Chipper Smith, Councilman Smith was, and then,
So for my clarity, we are just talking about signage and not the actual tint of the window. Am I saying that correctly?
That's correct. If it was just a clear tint with no, I guess, business, you know, nothing advertising the business, then that would be allowed.
So that
So
would be
somebody
permitted.
could still tint or cover a window with a colored window cover.
So I'm gonna ask is there any way that we can do this without permitting? I mean, I again, and I hate to bounce off of Councilman McCall, but I feel like it's another regulation to a commercial business. Is there any way that we can mandate this without it being an actual permit? And Councilwoman Jackson is actually right as well. I feel like she's right in my opinion. They're just advertising their business, even though you can't see inside, or it may distract, or you might can't see everyone inside. But I think there is a point that a small business at this day and age has a different way of advertising, and that is a way of advertising as well.
Councilman Braddock.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to defer until we can see those images, because I just appreciate what Councilman Jabali is saying, but I don't want to become like Mount Pleasant, where you don't know where the shopping center is or what you're walking into, you know, because everything looks the same. You know, they got trees on the front, and I mean, you just, and I want to see who's being impacted, because Irby Street is a 4-lane road that gets about 100,000, you know, views a day on the billboards. And so, you know, if you're competing for visibility amongst 100,000 people riding down the road, you know, and you've chosen that location to do business, and, you know, and we're not even talking about setbacks. So if someone's set back 200 feet and they got 25% versus someone's set back, you know, 30 feet or whatever the minimum setback is, then the visibility is going to be changed there too. You know what I mean? If someone's in Hallmark Square Shopping Center, you're not going to know who's back there. You know, you're not even going to be able to see it. So I want to see what the impacts are going to be. You know, personally speaking, just see who all we're going to tick off in the process. you know who all is going to be giving me a call. But people are coming here to do business, and I don't want to make it more difficult for people to find the location. I don't want to make it more difficult for people to advertise their products and services. And just the window size, the percentage of the window is just one aspect of a lot of different things in terms of if it's off of Irby Street downtown versus Irby Street at Hallmark Square. I mean, 25% is very different when you start talking about the setbacks and the impacts there.
It is.
You know, what Councilman Jabali is talking about, I can definitely see, you know, but would Bojangles be one of those? You know, new Bojangles National just came in. I don't know how much window space they took up, but I think it's a pretty good amount, you know, and and that's kind of like a flagship for us to have Bojangles downtown. You know, are we going to prevent more national folks from coming downtown because of this as well? So I'd like to defer until we can see some images of the impacts, and if you could bring, you know, some pictures with a far setback and a close setback, something downtown versus something further down Irby Street. You know, it may be a district-specific thing that we need to look at.
I second the motion.
But before we vote, I want to ask Sergeant Chief Sterling to come up and address the safety issue that may be there. As far as your ability to keep the community safe, what would you say about it?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor and Council. I agree with Councilman Jabali on that aspect. That is a security issue that we do look at when you're responding to a location. If you're not able to see inside, it can create issues for safety there. However, if the allowance is still going to allow tint on the windows, it's the exact same safety issue there.
Gotcha.
I have a question. So what's the difference? So it's probably for Jerry. I'm sorry, Chief. 1 second. Is this for the doors or the windows?
The windows.
So not the door itself.
Right now,
I mean,
they're covering
if there's a
everything.
window in it, I guess if it's a window door, it would apply.
Like
Right. We wouldn't regulate things like open hours or open close signs. All that's common, but this is more for the big advertisement sign that goes on the windows.
Gotcha.
And again, this is not affecting the tent. This is just the signage.
Right.
That's right.
So
It would
they
just
could
be signage.
theoretically remove the sign and just put up the tent,
Right.
which
Technically,
has the
they
same
could do-
safety concerns.
Technically, they could do that. This ordinance does nothing to regulate tent.
So is it possible, because I think somebody just said defer, somebody just
Madam-
said that.
Madam Mayor,
And,
City
I'm
attorney.
sorry, city manager.
City
Madam
attorney.
Mayor, if I
City-
could just, if I could just clarify, there's already a motion to approve made by Councilman Jabali and a second by Councilman McKay, so that would have to be withdrawn before you could take up a motion.
That's
to
a
defer.
motion, you made a motion,
I'll withdraw mine.
you made a motion.
Yeah, this would be a motion to defer?
No, they're already before.
Right, but
Chair-
in
yeah.
lieu of, to do a motion to defer in lieu of, is that what we're talking about?
In lieu of some more data to be presented.
Sure, I mean, I would amend my motion to be a motion to defer, that's fine.
I have one more question. Does downtown have does I guess downtown have a perspective on?
This would apply to downtown. Right now, they fall under the general rules, but their window signage, we had one just last month. It had to go to the design review board for review for window signage. And I will point out too that they would still be, this is separate from the building signage, so they would still be allowed to have a building sign, just outright. And this would be secondary signage for the front of a building. So technically, they, under the code, the way it would be written, they could have a business signage, just their normal business signage, as well as these window signage. So it's they're getting two signs on the front essentially through this.
City manager.
Mayor, just a point of clarification also, this is up for new businesses, not any existing businesses. So any business that will have signage now would not be affected at all.
That's even worse.
And so my question
Well, new signage,
is,
new
they
signage.
could not get a sign, but they could tint it where you couldn't see it. Is that okay?
So it's not like a marketing thing. It's like you're
Yeah,
doing marketing.
cause-
So it doesn't matter.
So if safety,
Safety concern is still there.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead, I'm sorry.
so the tint, they could
Yeah,
still
there's-
do the tint?
There's nothing in this that regulates tint or color of the windows. I mean, there's nothing in this code amendment that proposes that.
Madam Mayor.
Okay, council.
If we're going to defer this, could we also look at the issue of tinting so that we can address the safety issue as well?
I mean, they can definitely discuss that, sure.
Just
We're
think-
aware of that everywhere, though. I believe you start opening some other issues when you go into that. We can look into whatever issues you want. For safety concerns, we train for issues like this. I would say that you might want to discuss and defer on what's the best for the economic status of the city.
Okay, then we'll just forget about the safety issue. Y'all have got that handled. And let's just go forward
Yes.
with deferring and
Advertising
looking at
properties.
the issue of how do we,
So we would need a
Present.
motion now.
I withdrew
Council-
and made the
You would-
motion to defer, yes.
Okay, I think Councilwoman Neesmith made the motion to defer already,
She
I
did,
made
but
the
there was a
motion to
motion already on the floor that had to be decided,
I
so.
withdrew that.
and you withdrew. Okay, and
That's fine. Whoever does that.
whoever
I made
made
a
the
motion to
motion. Yes, okay. Now, second is done. All those in favor of deferring signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. All right. Now this next bill is Bill number 2026-10, first reading. It's an ordinance to create a Florence City County Convention and Visitors Commission to provide for operation of the Florence Convention and Visitors Bureau, to include provisions for the commission's organization and funding and other matters thereto. This item may be discussed in executive session.
So moved.
Objections.
Do we vote on that? If it's we don't vote because we're going into executive session. All right, we are at reports to council. We're at reports to council, and appointments and boards will be taken up in executive session. Now we will have Parks and Recreation Commission presentation of annual plan.
Madam Mayor and Council, thank you all. Good afternoon. On behalf of the Parks Commission, we have Mr. Walter Salinger and Mr. Darrell Witherspoon here. Mr. Darrell Witherspoon is our new chair, and they will present to you all our plan for the upcoming year.
Water park.
I hope so.
Darrell Mitchell is the new chairman. He's been gracious enough to take over the spot. Darrell, would you just introduce him? You can introduce me.
I'm Darrell Mitchell, new chair. I'm going to try my best to do the best job I can give you. Make sure our community is beautified and kids are safe.
Thank you, Darrell.
Short and sweet.
I'm Walter Salinger, and I'm again presenting the annual plan for the Parks and Beautification Commission 2026. You've got a paper copy in front of you, and you'll notice it's a lot shorter than it's ever been before in my 15 or so years. Well, I hope you've got a copy somewhere. We'll get you a copy.
Yep.
Take my word for it, short.
Okay.
Because we've accomplished so much, especially over the past 5 years. We've done a tremendous amount throughout our facilities, and I think the last big project completed was the extension of the rail trail to the soccer complex, and many of you are out there for the dedication of that facility. And everybody throughout city government had to contribute to make that come together. Private property owners, Philip Lowe, Senator Philip Lowe helped with that. I want to thank everybody for making all those projects happen, and I hope we can do a lot more projects like that, and encourage everybody in every part of the city government to work together with the citizens and landowners to provide safe places for people to exercise, ride their bicycles in every part of the community. In our one-year plan, we've recommended Freedom Florence enhance wayfinding to Jeffries Creek Trail and Rail Trail, historical kiosk at all parks, High Hill Creek, have an open house at the bicycle facility there so people can be better acquainted with it. Jabali Park, install new benches. Maple Park, have occasional t-ball games. Lucas Park, repair the parking lots near the playground. Repair the Oath of Enlistment at the Veterans Park. At Freedom Florence, update turf and football fields. And install bird habitat house at Jeffries Creek. We also have a 5-year plan and some ongoing goals, but I'll let you all read that in your paper copies. Thank you very much, and thank you for your staff. The city hiring excellent staff to make the parks run, keep everything going, keep the programming going. That's the backbone of it, and it's because y'all hire excellent staff and make it a place they want to keep working. Thank you.
I have a question.
Thank you
Yes.
so much, Councilman McCall.
And I'm sorry, I didn't get your last name again. I'm sorry.
Walter Salinger.
All right, and thank you, Mr. Salinger, for your years of service. There was a study done, I think that was last year. One of the, I guess, main points that members of the community indicated what they wanted to see for Florence was more aquatics, more things to do with water. As a proponent of a water park, myself. Probably the only person that agreed with the water park. I'm not saying we should get a water
I
park.
wanted it as long as it's not regulated.
Well, not regulated. I got you.
Exactly.
What do you think? There's some things that we can do to help address that need as far as with aquatics.
I just took my wallet out of my pocket.
Okay.
If everybody else in town will do the same thing, we can do it.
Okay.
It's
all
an
right.
expensive proposition, but of course, I grew up at a time when we still had community pools, and those were lost, and it was a tragedy that they were lost. And it's very hard when you talk to communities doing that, because one of the problems is getting lifeguards. You don't get teenagers who want to work as lifeguards anymore.
Yeah.
That was one of the reasons we shut down one of the last community pools we had. Some communities try making it a blend of a commercial water park with swimming pools to try and make money to balance it. Some communities try having the school district do it. Rock Hill has done that. I'm not sure if Myrtle Beach is doing any of that, but by having the school district handle it as an amenity for children, to school children to all learn to swim safely and have league matches. Those are options. We've discussed it forever and ever, and it's something that requires more money than our commission has ever seen.
Okay.
Any other
Thank
questions? Thank you so much.
Appreciate all of you.
All right. Next, we will have Glenn Bodenheimer. I don't know how to say your last name, Glenn. Please say your last name.
You said it right, Bodenheimer.
I said it right?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, great. Our finance director to provide an update on opioid funding.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor and Council. We're just going to provide an update on that opioid community action plan that was presented back in December. We briefly discussed it when we were at the January budget work session. The community action plan, they recommended establishing a commission that was going to review the funding applications and provide recommendations to the finance committee before ultimately being presented to council for approval. Next month, staff will present an ordinance to establish the Opioid Response Commission for the City of Florence. The commission will be composed of 5 members recommended and appointed by the Finance Committee. The members will have some experience or familiarity with the opioid-related issues that are currently affecting the Florence community. In that action plan, they had 3 strategies for prevention, community awareness, treatment, access, and navigation, and then strengthening the housing, peer support, and long-term recovery pathways. So the applications will be evaluated on those 3 strategies. The city will open an application process once each fiscal year for organizations seeking opioid settlement funding. The commission's plans to meet annually or as needed. They'll review the applications and forward the funding recommendations to the Finance Committee. It'll go from Finance Committee to full council for approval. And again, these applications are just going to be evaluated based on that alignment with that community action plan that was presented. Just want to provide an update on where we were with that.
Thank you so much. Any questions, council? Now, we will have to speak to this matter, Mr. John Wise from the House of Hope to speak.
You have a picture? Perfect. Mayor, council, so good to see you all again. It's been probably a year, but I feel like I see you every single day, and I just want to thank you for the time, the energy that you put forth to making the city a better place. I know it goes without saying sometimes, but a lot of people are at work right now, and I'm looking at you, and we've been in here about an hour, 30 minutes, and I can't wait to see how long executive session is going to be for you guys. So, I just want to thank you for the opportunity. I have the gift of gab, so I'll try to make this brief, but I want you to all look at this family on the screen, right? This family, when they were coming to the House of Hope, had very little hope and very little direction. Now this family is flourishing. That wife that mother right there not only holds a full-time job, she's going online to a 4-year degree at Liberty University to get her drug and alcohol counseling degree. She wants to work at the House of Hope of the PD one day. Those kids are both loving, smiling kids. 2 of them would not even look at me or talk to me when they first moved in the village. Now, They run up to me and give me a big hug, right? The House of Hope of the PD is here to transform families' lives, men, women, and children alike. And we do that through our 5 facilities of care. I'm going to go through them briefly. The Courtney McGinnis Graham Community Shelter. If you haven't heard it, it's off of Church Street, 535. That's for men, women, and children. We have no commingling in our facilities for the safety of our women, children, and staff, okay? They can stay up to 30 days at that facility, work with our amazing 3 case managers on staff now to get them into our long-term programs, partner agencies, or just connect them with the resources that they need with the mentality of how do we get this individual in a better position tomorrow than they're in today, right? So our long-term programs, we have a men's life recovery program. That's a 7 and 9 month program now. The first 90 days is spent on the ARC facility. It's a 100-acre piece of property in the middle of nowhere land. I see a lot of men in here, and you might say, well, why is that, John? You know how we are, men. We like to do things our way and our timing. And for the first 90 days, those men get to sit still for maybe the first time in their life and grow in faith and relationship in Christ. Okay? After that, the next 4 to 6 months will be on Darlington Street, where they have workforce and educational opportunities within Florence County. So that's for our men. Our women and children, as you see on this screen, we have 24 tiny cottage community called Hope Village for our women and children. They can stay up to 2 years in a long-term dignified situation with a community feel. This is a neighborhood, a safe environment for women and children to thrive and do amazing things. Okay. Lastly, we have our thrift store. When donations come in, every single dollar goes directly back to the ministry. Also acts as workforce development for our programs. And we gave away $25,000 of vouchers to families in need in this community last year. $25,000. Oh, let me tell you this too. Everybody that's at a House of Hope facility shops for free with dignity at that thrift store. So we are doing some incredible things. What does this add up to, right? We'll get a little bit into numbers. We're averaging about 118 people under our roof every night, upwards to about 140 depending on the weather and coldness, emergency times. And we're serving well over 350 meals a day throughout our facilities. But more importantly, 55 people went to work or school today that were either drug dependent or homeless 100 days ago. 55 people in your community went to work or school today that were homeless or drug addicted 90 days ago. So what is the House of Hope here to do? Transform families and individuals' life, but plant the seeds of Jesus so they can learn about our Lord and Savior. And I'm so grateful that you gave me the opportunity to speak with you today. There are so many great testimonies just like this family on this board. And if I had more time, we could go down about 50 of them. But right now, we're going to stick to this beautiful family on the board. And I'd ask any council members, if they have any questions, please, anything. Go ahead.
Oh, hands up.
Okay. Yield to the
Councilwoman
lady.
Lee Smith.
How many, with these facilities, I think you named 4 of them, 3 or 4 of them?
Yes, ma'am.
How many vacancies do you currently have right now?
We're over 95% full pretty much every single night in a 365 calendar year, annually. Sorry.
So we have
95% full.
Okay, so we have little vacancy.
Very little vacancies. Currently, we have 2 vacancies in our men's program and 2 vacancies at Hope Village. And then almost every single night, our Courtney McGinnis Graham Community Shelter is full. Now, I didn't tell you about the 5 to 6 applications that we have on both programs. So I want you guys to understand we're 95% full or more every single night, 365 days a year.
And you said that you have applications already for the 2 positions that you have?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Councilman Braddock.
One thing, just a sidebar, I think 100% of your glass has got advertising on it at the thrift store.
False. It's about 25%. It's just on the bottom. It's actually we've opened that up a lot for safety measures. Shout out, right? Yeah. It's about 25%. The bottom corners. Yeah, for safety measures for our employees.
Good deal. I said that I lobbed that up for Councilman Bailey. Yeah, I had some insider info.
I got that.
One of the things, Mr. Weiss, you indicated to me is with the opioid funds that you're seeking now, y'all have an intent, you have a goal for that. Can you allude to that?
Absolutely. I mean, the opiate funds can go so long for the House of Hope of the PD, right? It can help us hire more adequate staff and get them trained correctly, right? Certifications, things like that. Also, our greatest need right now is to create more space, right? And so I really think through a city, county, many other group effort, we could build off the front of the Courtney McGinnis Graham Community Shelter and add 18 to 24 more beds to allow us to have more capacity, right? Right now we have a great program called No One Unsheltered. For those of you that don't know it, it's an excellent program that allows us to give hotel vouchers in case all of the shelters in town are full. We have to utilize those 100% every single year, okay? If we could build off the front of that Courtney McGinnis Graham Community Shelter, which there is room to do, we could add about 18 to 24 more beds and really start meeting the needs of more people in our community. Yeah, I hope that answers a good part of your question.
And lastly, you didn't know this, John, but that young lady was my next door neighbor when I came back from recovery. She was about 8 years old, and I saw her at church Sunday.
Yeah.
So these are your neighbors. These aren't people on the streets. These are your neighbors.
I think some people have this, and do I have a little more time, Mayor? I apologize.
Well, you can answer my question.
Go ahead. A little more time. I think all of us think of the homeless person as someone on the side of the road, right? Or someone holding a sign. But what we don't understand in this community, there's children in our schools. There's children going to school that have no clue where they're sleeping tonight, okay? There is way more of a homeless issue than we ever could imagine. And so we're here as the House of Hope of the PD to meet people where they are, show love, compassion, and give them hope. We're going to do that every single day. And yeah, sorry.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. John, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it and appreciate the update as always. And I think tonight is a big event. If
Absolutely.
you want to give a little shout out for
Absolutely. If y'all haven't seen the many billboards, the many marketing things that we've put out, we have the Evening of Hope tonight, which is our biggest fundraiser. We have Megan Woods, who just has blown up as a Christian singer. She is incredible, so she'll be leading us in praise and worship. And then we have Soul Surfer Bethany Hamilton giving her story and answering questions from younger children and generations in our community. But more importantly, we're going to have over 1,500 people in that center tonight. That's incredible, right? 114 tables sold out upstairs, well over 600 tickets sold. So people coming from not only in Florence, from other communities, staying here to see Bethany Hamilton. So we're really excited about that. And if you are attending, not only will you get to see Bethany Hamilton, you'll get an announcement tonight that will be the first partnership of its kind in the world, and something that each of you will be very proud of and can't wait to be involved with in the future. So, Mr. Councilman Jabali, thank you for being a sponsor of the event and attending tonight, and for all of y'all's support for the House of Hope of the PD.
Thank you, but I think we would all be remiss if we didn't acknowledge Councilman Braddock and his years of service on behalf of the House of Hope and dedication to this issue. Not only have you brought that to our community, but I think you have, each and every one of us up here, you've helped educate us and inform us and help make us more aware of not only the problems associated with the homeless, but also the solutions and how lives get changed through the House of Hope. So I just want to say thank you, Councilman Braddock.
I would not be speaking with you today without my great friend Brian Braddock and my Lord and Savior turning my life around. I'm a perfect example of what God can do when you surrender to Him and walk in stride with Him. So great men like Brian Braddock helped me through that process, and now I am where I am. So thank you, Brian.
Thank you so much. All right. Now, Council, we will go to City Manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor, members of council. As you know, there have been a lot of talk about smells, particularly on David McLeod Boulevard there in Woody Jones area. Staff has been diligently working in that area. I want to give you a brief update on that. I did email council some information on that on Friday and kind of share our findings there. As you see from the maps there, we have a number. These are sewer lines. We have 18-inch lines there. The green lines mostly are 18-inch to your north there. We have a number of large lines that's coming into an end there. You have a 24 and a 21 that's kind of deadlining into an 18. We have some bottlenecks in that area. Overall fix there is we will have to increase the size of some pipes in that area. 30 inches. We're looking at about a 30-inch pipe from Dunbarton to West Palmetto Street. There, this is part of our $50 million project. You know, as you know, council has set aside $25 million of that through bond monies. We received $25 million through a grant there. Again, that's a longer-term project. We anticipate the first phase of that project will be completed in late 2028 there. We're also working through our asset management program to identify all of the manholes in that area. This is a swamp basin there, the Jeffers Creek Basin. So we do have some manholes that we're aware of. There are some that we can't access because, again, it is in that basin there. But we do have identified a couple that has been surcharging recently there. Working in that area, we will set aside, or we've set aside $1 million there to upfit about 8 manholes there. We're going to bring those, we're going to repair those and increase the size and diameter of those manholes there, and that will give us some relief. Again, long-term relief is a much longer, much more costly project, and it's part of that $50 million project. Phase 1 of which will be completed around 28. We will have to have a major line improvements. Again, those 18-inch lines there are too small. We're draining, excuse me, not draining. We are servicing areas, we talked about West Florence area and Windsor Forest, all that area, even Darlington, all of that is coming through there. We've seen significant overflows in the last 3 months or so there in that area. Again, this is a project we're working on, but it will take us a little bit of time.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Scotty, thank you for that. And I think every council member has been keenly aware of this for some time. And I appreciate the update on the status of it. You circled these red, are the red circles the problem areas that are going to be addressed in the short term, along with then the later? I'm trying to understand what the short-term fix is and where on the map you've put up there the short-term fix is, and then where the long-term fix is.
Yes.
If you can differentiate that for us.
Yes.
Please.
So the red circles there, those are manholes. Those are some where we're having some sanitary sewer overflows.
Right.
So you have your sewer coming through the line, and it's in essence bubbling up there.
Yes.
So we
I
have
think
that.
There's videos out there. We all know how bad it is.
Yes. So we're looking to improve those manholes there.
And what will that do? What is the fix, and what do we hope to accomplish?
When you increase the size of those manholes there, it will give us a little bit more capacity in those lines there, and to limit the number and intensity of those overflows.
By making the manhole, I guess, the larger, making them taller?
Correct. That is correct. There. That's a short-term fix, and we're starting that process. It's an emergency repair project, and we hope to have that bid out by the end of this month there. The longer-term project is to increase the size of our pipes there. Again, some of those 18-inch lines, we're looking at least 30-inch lines there. We do have our staff, our engineers looking at those projects. What we don't want to do is to increase problems downstream. So we have to ensure that we don't put that problem, move it from one location to another location.
And just to be clear, and the Business Development Committee has received numerous reports over the last few years on the efforts, I think initially to try to see if we could get Timmonsville to where we had a second wastewater treatment facility over in Timmonsville, but we were unable to get permitting approval from over there from, I guess it was DHEC at the time. And so now all of the wastewater from the entire west side of town, all of it has to flow through town all the way to National Cemetery to the current wastewater treatment facility. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And so there, and if I understood, one of the things you had mentioned before was there was a new development that, or of some sort, that maybe had a tremendous water usage coming along that was way above what would be considered normal in a housing development, apartment complex of some sort?
That is correct. Because we have some smart meters now, we're looking at continuous flows there, and we're able to calculate a large facility in the area that may be contributing. We're still investigating that, but the numbers suggest that there's a lot of water usage and obviously a lot of sewer usage, unusual for the number of persons staying in the area.
So would that potentially lead us that there may be a water leak somehow?
There could be a water leak that's leaking from the water into our sewer system.
And that would cause a tremendous increase in the volume that could contribute to this overflow.
That is correct.
So please keep us informed of any what you find out as you're tracking down that problem.
Certainly.
Thank you.
Councilman McKay, and then we go this way.
Yes, I guess I have a question on that, because that smell has been going on for months, and we've all smelled it. We've heard from you, we've heard from other folks that it's not our issue, and now it's coming out that it is our issue, is my understanding, correct? So how does it take, again, we've supposedly explored this issue numerous times. How does it take a private citizen on a walk to find this? And at some point, somebody needs to be held accountable for us overlooking this issue for months, if not years, on this very spot. So I guess my question would be, and again, I hope that we will be able to, or I assume that we will, with having a monthly update, either from you or from AECOM, on how this will be fixed, but in the future, how do we ensure that this, again, isn't overlooked?
Well, and you're exactly right in your question there. What we found is that this area, we've had sanitary sewer overflows in the past in the area. They have been sporadic there. We've had staff to send, I've had staff to go out there on several occasions. Sometimes we'll see the areas and sometimes we don't. I think what happened here is that there are known points here that we knew that were overflowing, and they may have been, staff was looking at those areas and didn't see something when it happened, whereas actually doing it, further upstream or downstream, we didn't know that or necessarily see that exact area there. But I have had them, and we've been talking and had a meeting this morning about these areas to ensure that we've gone and checked everyone that we know of. We'll also be able to do a better job with our asset management program. Again, on that asset management program, we'll be able to identify all of our manholes in that area. We've also put smart covers there, and our smart covers, we have 4 in the area there now. Those smart covers will actually give us data on all the flows in that area there. So we've moved them throughout the city and actually concentrated them in those areas that we'll have immediate information on those flows.
Councilman McCall, then Councilwoman Neesmith.
And I may have missed it. I know I heard long-term fix. The more expensive fix is 2028. Potentially
Phase 1.
Phase 1, gotcha. What's the timeline for the short-term fix? And would that resolve the smell?
Short term, we're looking at about 3 months there, assuming again we can get we don't have a lot of rain, assuming we can get materials there. 3 months is what we're looking at there, and that will help us. Can't say a guarantee that The guaranteed fix is, again, the long-term fix. This will minimize some of the issues that we have.
And that was basically my question, because I know I live in that area, and I've been getting calls and emails as well. And what I want to get clear, so everybody know, next month we will start out bidding for this job for the short-term fix, which hopefully will minimize the smell that everybody is smelling in this area. Am I correct on that?
Yes, thank you, Clinton. Yes, and again, this is a timeline there on that. So we're looking at 3 months, and we're going to bid it out by 24th. We'll have bids due by the 24th.
So basically, we're looking at another couple of months, and we should not at least have the smell as often as it is right now.
That is correct.
Okay.
Councilman Braddock.
We've had situations off of Jeffries Creek, like behind the Wisteria area, and in events where we put lime down and some things to mitigate the impacts of the smell. Is that something that we can utilize in this scenario as well, given that, you know, this is a commercial district, a business district, restaurants in the area, movie theater, hockey games, stuff like that? Is there anything that can be done, you know, by use of lime or some other product to mitigate some of the smells, and, you know, which are quite obnoxious? I've smelled it myself in the short term.
Yes, it is. It is certainly. I walked with DHEC in that area personally, so certainly. And we do put down lime in those areas. The issue with lime is when it's actually surcharging. If we put it down, it's just literally washing it away. But we do put down lime there, and I do have staff, if they want to, Josh there, to talk more about that process.
Okay, just when it could be done.
Yes.
You know, I guess if it dries up or whatnot, if we could get that in some kind of regular, you know, treatment during the time of this work being done, is that a possibility?
That is.
Okay.
And Scotty, I know Councilman Jabali mentioned the meters. Will those meters be able to help us dictate the brown water and hopefully stop that as we move forward with the rest of the updates and upgrades to our facilities and to our infrastructure? Will that be able to help mitigate some of that? I know in our business development committee we mentioned that again. We have, I think, 40% of the water that we're putting out is non-revenue producing, which is an obvious issue. It's almost double the rest and other municipality and water systems. So will we be able to start to mitigate some of that loss and hopefully bring it back into our budget?
Yes. If you remember doing the cold snap there, we had over 700 customers that we found that actually had continuous flow, and we were able to cut the water off on those areas. So yes, as we continue with our smart meters, and again on the water side, that will help again and mitigate a lot of that loss.
And on the brown water, will that be able to help?
Well, Well, that'll be a little bit different there on the discolored water. We actually have the SCADA data that will help in that because that is caused again by a high iron content there, and we actually have SCADA that's on our systems, our groundwater plants, and they can read the iron concentration that's coming out, and they can also read the type chemical feeds and ensure those are in balance.
Okay, I just want to make sure again that is something that we're putting as priority, because I've sent you some of the pictures.
Yes.
I know that there's been folks that have reached out to me, I mean dozens of folks over the last month.
Right.
Since last month we did state that there is no problems with our water, and so that to me just, again, some of them's the worst I've ever seen. It looks worse than Jeffries Creek. So again, will that be something that we will?
Yes, and we've set aside again of that $138 million bond there, $30 million of dollars of that is going directly to that. In addition to what staff is doing in the budget process as well. So we are certainly working on that, and we'll give you continuous updates, monthly updates on our progress.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Lee Smith.
How many smart valve things do we have?
For the sewer, we have 4.
Okay, are we looking to get some more for the bulk of them, or how does that work?
Yes, these are, and I think we've had them several months now, a year or so, but we do, Josh, want to talk a little bit about how we're bringing those on board.
Okay,
Because that's what my next question was.
Yeah, Madam Mayor, Council. Good afternoon. Yeah, the smart covers are really good technology for helping get information on water levels within the manholes and within the sewer system. And we have gotten a quote to get a few more. They're expensive. They run about $7,000 a piece. So what you have to do is be really careful about where you select and put them, where you get the most value for your dollar. You pick intersections and strategic manholes where you can get the most value out of them.
Are they movable? Do we move them place to place, or is that something that stays there permanently?
You could do it either way. You know, as time goes by, I'd love to get enough to where we could situate them throughout the city and get constant data. But for now, we're moving them where we need them the most.
Okay.
Yep, they are movable.
Okay, good.
Thank you. So I do want to thank you all, and I want to address what Councilman McKay says. We want to make sure that our customers understand that we have an infrastructure problem, and that problem will not be fixed overnight. The water quality is not. It's because the infrastructure is discharging into quality water. And so when we say that, we are helping you to understand that this is not an overnight fix, that we are working and staff are working daily to remedy this problem. But even in the lifetime of this council, our infrastructure, we've got over 700 miles of pipe, aging pipes with deposits that are in those pipes. And when those pipes are hit and knocked on water hammer, it causes settlement to fall in the quality water, which causes brown water. So the water quality is not the problem. It is the aging infrastructure. Because the percentage of people who are having this problem, while we don't want anyone to have this problem at all, we want all of our customers to get clean, clear water. I just want to make sure we help them to understand the process of fixing this, and it is not something that we would fix overnight. 30 miles of pipes that you're fixing would cost us about what, Scotty? I'm putting you on the spot. I'm sorry.
That's a Michael question.
Well, Michael. Because, and the reason why I'm saying this is because I said this in a meeting. Oftentimes, I was told when I first got on council, now if you want to stay on and you don't want any trouble, don't do anything. This council, Brown Water has been around since the late 1990s. This council took action with staff to finally stop kicking the can down the road. Now that we have done that, all of the chatter is happening now when we are trying to put a plan of action into place to remedy this problem. So while we should be, I don't want to say happy, but we should be that we are coming up with a plan to fix the problem instead of saying that the problem, hey, you're in a swamp and you just need to have your brown water. We are addressing the problem. We have a plan of action in place. Do we need to check it? Do we need to say, hey, why is it taking so long for this to happen? Yes, because while we're working this plan, we are constantly becoming better at what we're doing. And so just so that the community understands how much this costs to just fix a small amount, so that they understand that we cannot fix it overnight.
Right. And part of the process, not even fixing it overnight, is also the regulatory process with DES on taking the infrastructure offline and then putting it back online. There's a specific process that has to occur. But for us, the cost per mile, that varies depending on the size of a pipe. Approximately right now, you're putting a 30-inch pipe in the ground, you're paying $1 to $2 million per mile to put that pipe in the ground, depending on the situation of the ground, for the soil quality, whether it's dry land, upland, whether you have to bore, the different combination there. And then that's for a 30-inch. So if you drop down in size a little bit, then that price decreases, but also determines on each road it's going to be a little bit different, because you have to look at all the existing infrastructure that's already present. The more infrastructure that's already there, then it's going to increase the cost of the project, because now the contractor is going to have to move at a slower pace to make sure they avoid everybody else's utility infrastructure in the ground. So it's not just a process of just putting new pipe in the ground. You have to assess everything that's in the ground that already prior to the contract beginning work, and then get a permission from DOT within their road right away and meet all of their requirements. And their requirements change based on whether it's a 4-lane highway, a U.S. highway, or a secondary road. Then the requirements are a little bit different for each one of those type roadways where you're going to construct the new infrastructure.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilwoman Neesmith.
And you good, thank you. I appreciate what the mayor said, because what people don't understand is we did not, this problem been going on for years. And one thing I did learn about this was the infrastructure is just like a house. You have to continue to maintain it. And it has not been maintained in a long time. So we are diligent, committed to really getting this fixed, but it seems like we're getting the worst end of it when we're trying to correct it. So just so everybody know, we inherited, but we're going to get it fixed, and we committed and dedicated to doing so. So thank you for clearing that up too.
Yeah, and just to remind us, the #1 bottling company in the country took down roots here. What does that tell you? If we had water quality issue, they wouldn't be here. They would have not built their company in an area that has this issue. And so I just want to make sure our citizens understand that we are committed, and you see the passion with all of us. All of us just, want this fixed. We're tired of the phone calls. We're tired of the emails. But I want us to be patient, as I want our citizens to understand we are working on this, and we are turning over every stone to make sure that you get the quality water and the that you deserve, that you are paying for.
Mayor, I would just say, going back if possible, and that's exactly why I would ask that again. We have either AECom or staff provide an update, because again, we could sit up here and say that yes, we're doing it. We can blame it on past administrations as much as possible. But at the end of the day, people are still seeing brown water every day. We're not, yes, again, we might have a plan, but at what point do we start taking action on the plan? And again, I understand that we are, but it's the people want to know, when is this going to be fixed? Like, we could keep saying 5 years, but we were saying 5 years last year. So at some point, it's time that, again, we start updating the folks and they understand what is going on. Again, it's one thing to say we have a plan in place, but it's time that we do start at least telling where these upgrades and updates to our system are going.
Okay, I think there's a water plan quality. Council, does anybody want to make a motion on that, or we want to talk about that in later?
Madam, if I may, Madam Mayor, the issue of the water quality, it was discussed, as I mentioned at the beginning of our meeting. We have a water quality improvement plan preliminary report that
isn't that in the Business Development Committee?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to be presented during the Business Development Committees. So if we want to wait to that point, I'll bring it up at that time.
No, I was asking, has it already been?
Yes.
Okay. Has it already been brought up in the Business Development Committee
Yes.
already?
Yes, we just had a report.
And I'm gonna, when it comes time for the Business Development Committee report, I'll talk about it then.
And who's the members of that committee again?
The mayor, myself, and Councilman McKay.
Okay.
All right.
So it's being updated.
All right. Okay. Is that it? That it? That's complete. Now we will move. Yes. You got another one. Okay, that's all right.
Of course, that was all encompassing for us. But I do want to invite our police chief up to give you a little bit of exciting news about our police department.
Thank you, City Mayor. Council, Mayor. Last week, we received notice and officially recognized for our recertification and accreditation. So the police department is now officially reaccredited through the state for another 3 years.
Great job, great job, great job.
Very good.
Thank you.
That concludes staff's report.
All right, thank you so much. We will have a mayoral report. I really didn't have anything to report on, but I will, Councilwoman Neesmith participated and helped to organize the Black History Parade, and so I wanted to give her the opportunity to give an update on that.
Yes, it was a great parade. It happened on February 28th. It got delayed. It was originally on the 21st, but because of the rain, it got pushed back to the 28th. It was about 50 participants in it. It was a really, really great parade. I really want to thank the Thompson family and Will Thompson for always letting us use that space to come back to kind of convert, to talk about, and have vendors there. So there were vendors there. It was a great celebration. I want to thank Pat, former Councilwoman Pat Gibson-Highmore, for really putting this together, because it really brought out the culture. We celebrated our diversity, and it was just a bunch of community unity events, and it was a great thing. And hopefully it gets better every year.
Thank you so much. That concludes my mayoral report. Next, we will have committee reports, the Business Development Committee.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The Business Development Committee met on February the 19th. It was Madam Mayor, myself, Councilman McKay, along with our city manager, Scotty Davis, as well as Clint Moore and Michael Hemingway. We had a very robust conversation, and we were given an update by AECom at that time, who presented us with the utility system communication presentation, which I think Amanda was there to help us with that, and that's part of the process. And maybe at a later time we can have Amanda come up and kind of talk about the communication part of it, and how receiving information is important from the community, letting us know where on the water line we're experiencing the discoloration, and et cetera, or water leaks. And so perhaps at the next council meeting, Amanda, you'd be able to come up and talk about the communication part of it. We'll let you speak with our city manager about that. But we also received the Water Quality Improvement Plan. This is a preliminary plan. Presented copies there. I would encourage everybody to grab one on your way out. This is talking about the discoloration of the water, and how the discoloration comes from the iron content that comes from the groundwater. About roughly half of our water is produced through the groundwater. The other half is surface water. We have the surface water treatment plant out there by the PD River, bringing that water in. There's no discoloration issues that come from that. The discoloration comes from the groundwater. There are 33 wells, 14 groundwater plants. Am I getting that right, Michael? All right. So that's where the difficulties come when you're pulling out iron-heavy water out of the ground and the two aquifers that we access, and then trying to reduce or eliminate the iron sediment through filtration and keeping track of it. We mentioned the SCADA system that's in place. That is a computerized system that gives us real-time ability to manage and observe what's going on and make adjustments on the fly, which is a big improvement that'll help over time. That's something that is already in place, and we're adding more and more of those computer quality monitoring that's going on. So we received that from AECom. And as was asked earlier of the city manager, it's my understanding that this water quality improvement plan is going to be posted online, and then if it can be shared on social media as well, so that, again, we can get the word out, not only of what the problem is, but what we're actively doing to try to address those problems as soon as possible, to implement some strategies to make things better. So it was a very robust conversation that we had during our Business Development Committee meeting. There are some action items. I'm very pleased that we're going to be getting these monthly updates from AECom or the city manager on where we're at with regard to not only the water quality improvement plan, but if everyone will remember, especially those back home, the city council has already adopted by resolution a water distribution master plan, a wastewater system master plan, and a stormwater master plan. These are three massive infrastructure assessments that have been done. It took 4 years to get the planning process in place, and I'm very proud that the Business Development Committee has been able to help work and provide some level of assistance to the city staff as we've gone through this process, and grateful to the council that we've been able to adopt these master plans, that all of us have the framework to move forward. And now, in addition, we have this water quality improvement plan. That's a fourth leg of the overall master planning process to keep moving us forward. So that was the primary portion of the Business Development Committee meeting. We also received updates on Urban Square and what's going on there, as well as other projects that are happening in the city. We also got a report from Don Strickland, the PDRTA, and where they are with their situation. It was a lot, and I know we've commented on it a good bit here today, but if Madam Mayor or Councilman Kay, if I've overlooked anything, please join in.
I just had a quick question to mention that. I know Councilman McCall mentioned earlier that I am on this committee. I've asked for a digital copy at the meeting, and then I actually asked Scotty last week or the week prior for a digital copy of this so that I could share it with folks that do reach out, and I've not received one.
That's of the water quality improvement
Please,
plan?
both of the presentations that ECOM presented, since I was not able to be there in person and had to join virtually.
I believe that was sent by email.
I've not got it.
Yes, sir, Councilman. It should be in your email. I'm gonna pull up and tell you what date and time that actually went out to you.
Please do, because I looked for it this morning and could not find it.
Yes, sir.
Yes, and then if, being able to get it where we can share the link on the online where it's been uploaded to.
We haven't gotten it completed online yet. We just sent it to council after the business development meeting,
Right.
and they're working with AECON to finalize and make some correction. We identified some problems we need to correct,
got you. Okay.
and so reading that process of getting that correct before we release it onto social media.
Okay.
But I will pull up right quick, like, and tell Councilman Kay exactly when that email went out.
Councilman Braddock.
Thank you.
One of the things too that I reached out to Scotty about is a timeline, because there's a lot of, we sit up here and we say what we've done, and things that we've done, but could we add a timeline of all the resolutions, ordinances, approvals of budgets, studies for the last 5 years that this council, action that this council has taken? We say that we've done things. We say that we haven't kicked it down the curb, but we're just doing a horrible job communicating to our citizens what we have done in a manner that's simple to see. Just a timeline that said council approved. I mean, the first thing that I ever did on council was approve the stormwater study.
Yes.
First thing, stormwater study approved, got the results, wastewater, bond approved, things been out, just something that shows the community that we have taken a lot of actions, we're getting hit on the cost of the actions that we're taking.
Yes, sir.
And then the fact that that it hasn't manifested in anything. And so, you know, I'll just tell you that I'm like afraid not right now.
Yeah, the city manager has asked us to go ahead and put that together, and we're in the process of pulling that information together for you already.
It just needs to be simple where someone can take it. All of us need to be on the same page and be singing the same sheet of music to the community and be able to just send a QR code or something where they can see, you know, where things were, where things have been, and where we're going. So that would be a great help to all parties.
And everybody saying the same message would be helpful too, and not going off, because it does take a lot of planning.
Yes, the full council received all the information from the business development meeting on February the 27th.
Could you just, and I apologize if I overlooked it, could you resend that to me, and then just on that, can I know it hadn't been shared publicly, can that be shared, or do we need to hold off on sharing that?
Yes, sir. You just need to put a disclaimer that there will be some corrections based on when we come up with the final draft.
Perfect, thank you.
Yes, sir.
So, just finishing up on the Business Development Committee, I do want to also have noted that when it comes to that stormwater plan that Councilman Braddock said, that remind everybody that we were able to raise $7 million from that initial 50-cent increase that got us $14 million from state grants, so that $7 million became $21 million through the action that was taken several years ago. So these are things, as you say, Councilman Braddock, that need to be brought out so people will understand all the work that has been going on, and that we as a council and certainly staff actively engaging in making sure that things happen. And hats off to staff. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for what y'all are doing every day. And Lord, if we get emails and phone calls, it's times 10 what y'all get. So we just want to say thank you, Mr. City Manager, Assistant City Manager, Michael, everyone associated, Josh, all of y'all that are here today in every department, because you guys are great and we love you and we appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, we will have the Community Development Committee. At the Community Development Committee, for like issues that we just talked about, we want our community to know if you would like us to come to any of your large groups. We are willing to come out to answer any questions. We want all of us to be on the same page, because we really are on the same team. It is only one Florence. It's only one Florence. And so if you would want us to come out, we want to do some touring to get the information out about what we're doing with recreation, what we're doing with the water, what we're doing in the city, and all of the things that are going on. So please don't hesitate to call our city manager or his staff for us to, I know they're saying, Lord Jesus, for us to come out and have that conversation, because as we grow, we want to make sure that we're growing together. We want to make sure we stay on one accord, because we're going to be better when we grow that way. All roads are leading to Florence right now. And if we miss this opportunity because we're at each other instead of with each other, that's on our watch. And so let's make sure that we're stronger together by making sure that we're bringing everybody along. I don't have anything else to say on community, but I will give the floor to Councilman Smith to talk about something that he recommended in our meeting.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So what we've been discussing, I think, for the last few meetings is just a special needs occupancy sticker. And what that's going to do is help our first responders respond better to the everyday resident who has an issue with sensitivity, cognitive, and developmental disabilities, and maybe they may be deaf or nonverbal. So it's going to help them with those challenges. And it's a voluntary program. Actually, I think there's a county up in North Carolina that's already started this program, but what is a voluntary program where you place a sticker on your door visible for a first responder to see, or on your car. So if an emergency does happen, they kind of know what they're up against and how they can help that resident in that emergency. People who have special needs respond to emergencies differently, and I think with this it helps our officers, EMS and fire, respond to those situations in a different manner, an effective manner. And this just shows in a way that our first responders are here to protect, but also help and understand the everyday resident who deals with these type of disabilities. And again, that's autism, nonverbal, anything of that nature, and as well as mental health issues as well. So I just want to thank, I talked to Chief Starling about it, and he's been a big champion for it, as well as everyone in the Community Development Committee and everyone on council as well. And I think this will help our first responders better serve our community and protect them in a special way.
All right. Thank you so much for that. That concludes our community development. Yes, thank you so much. We have been having the neighborhood redevelopment revitalization meetings, and those have been going very well. We've gotten a big turnout with our community, and some of them sit and say nothing, but we have some that says, hey, I'm going to tell you what I think I want in my community. But that's what we need. We want your input. We want you to tell us, because like I said, we all in this together. So thank you so much. And are we finished with that? Or we have one more?
March 16th.
March 16th, and we're going where? Maple Park. We're coming to you. So we'll see you then. That concludes our report. Now we will have the Finance and Audit and Budget Committee.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As we took as information on February 25th, as the Finance Director, Glenn, mentioned, we talked about structuring the opioid funding committee, and there was a robust discussion on that. So he's already talked about it already. I don't want to belabor much of our time, but that was our discussion, and that's kind of everything that we had on for that meeting. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now we will go into executive session, and in executive session we discuss the receipt of legal advice regarding proposed contractual arrangement involving the creation of an intergovernmental public body as referenced in Bill number 2026-10, discussion regarding a development project as referenced in resolution number 2026-14, discussion regarding appointments to city boards and commissions, discussion regarding economic development project located within the downtown central district, discussion of receipt of legal advice regarding proposed contractual arrangement involving Florence School District 1, personnel matter regarding to reappointment of judge, and after that we'll be back at you. How about that? What say you? Can I have a vote on that?
No objection.
We are now going into executive session. 5 minutes.